Alright everyone, I'm here with War 11, our rematch against 4 Loki. BG1 has the Protect Global, and I will be taking in Void, Killmonger, and Quake. And I am assigned boss duty with Killmonger versus Modok. So I have Path 8 in Section 1 and Path 1 in Section 2. I'm going to be quaking this Cull Obsidian on this first node. There's nothing much to worry about with this fight. The node does have a power drain debuff that gets applied to you if they gain any buffs, and Cull does start with a buff, so I do start with the power drain debuff. But since we're quake and shaking, there's not anything to worry about. So straightforward quake and shake fight. Went ahead and slapped on 1 hour boosts. I think I slap on 1 hour boost for the entirety of the war, just because I have one more set of 6 hour boosts. So I'm trying to save it for the last war of the season. And I figured this would be a pretty good war to do it, since I'm used to all these fights, and I'm very used to the boss fight of Killmonger versus Modok. So I can get away with the 5% lower attack that I'm used to for a boss fight. This Warlock here, game plan with Void, is that I power to SP1 and throw it immediately so that we can remove the power drain debuff and we can avoid the degen damage for the rest of the fight. I do have willpower turned off. This node is somewhat buggy. Even after I get the power drain off, I think I take a few hits of degen. I recall seeing, oh, no, it's not. It's because of the Killmonger synergy with Void. When using specials, Void heals, and since it's a heal block node, somehow it interacts with Warlock's abilities, even though there isn't any power draining going on with the heal block. So it's interesting. I guess there might be some power drain. I don't quite understand the interaction or why it works that way. Just because a heal block should prevent healing, so there shouldn't be any technical healing to cause power drain to therefore cause degen, but it works that way. So you will see ticks of degen here and there, but it's not a big deal. I push him to SP2 every time. I bait out a heavy if he's below SP2, and then I retaliate that heavy and retaliate the SP2, and I just wail on him until he's down. Just let the debuffs do the work. Alright, moving on to a usual fight that you guys see me take quite often. Quake and baking the power snack mini. Yes, I could quake and shake this if I wanted to, but the risk is very, very low for me to quake and bake it, in my opinion. There's no dropped heavies. There's no having to worry about mystics being here and MD. And there's no worry about dropping a heavy for me when I do quake and bake. So it's almost always a perfect fight. Now, have there been issues? Yeah, but I've never come close to dying on this node when I quake and bake it. So I just quake and bake it because I can. We have the benefit of the 1 hour boosts, so her health pool is going to drop, and then I'll heal before my next fight. So it's not going to cost very much in item use to quake and bake it. And as you see, I'm not taking too much damage considering I don't have Guardian for the block proficiency. So I quake and bake it. Safe all around. We don't lose any attack bonuses. And the world keeps spinning. But no, I don't think I screw up this fight at all. I don't take a hit this round against Kingpin. And yeah, I'm just ready for the off season so I can get away from some quake and bake fights and take a break. And down he goes. Next up, using Void for this Infinity War Ironman on Vigor. Again, nothing really to worry about here. He's not a Protect champ. He's a rank 5, so his health pool is going to be a lot smaller. And Void's going to prevent the healing from Vigor. and the power gain once we get below 15%, and his armor up buffs start showing up. So really, game plan, reparry. It's a great thing to learn if you don't know how to do it. Practice it. Reparry to create that window of attack. If he doesn't decide to throw, or if he doesn't decide to throw after the first parry another attack and just decides to heavy, just retaliate the heavy. You're going to see me bait out SB1s. I'm just going to let the dot damage do its work. But yeah, not a very stressful fight. Sometimes getting nicked by the unblockable SB1 sucks, but it's not too big of a worry. Not with Void's health pool, so it's just being smart, being alert. There we go, retaliating a heavy instead of reparrying. I know sometimes that can get a few people if you commit so hard to the reparry that you actually end up trying to parry a heavy attack. It's happened before. But it does not happen in this fight. We got Fear of the Void up, so we're going to do a good bit more damage with our basic attacks, with all attacks. We're getting very close, and there it is, the 15% range. So now he's going to auto block, so now we're switching to just heavy attacks. We got Fear of the Void up, so he's not going to gain any power. Now Petrify's up while Fear of the Void's up, so we're reversing that power gain. And down he goes. Easy peasy. Alright, another Quake and Bake situation with Doom on Buffet. We do have the White Magneto pre-fight. I'm going to play the start of this a little bit different. I decided I'm going to try and land a few parries and just back up to the wall without charging the heavy. So you're going to see me open with a parry, back up. I'm going to try and parry him again, back up. Now I'm just going to keep backing up until I get to the wall, and now we're quaking, baking. Again, can I quake and shake this when the double concussion's up? Yes, I can. Is it a bit more risky because you could drop the heavy? Yes, it is. Can I drop a heavy when I'm quake and baking? No, I can't. So the only risk here is missing a block, which I'd only miss a block resulting in a block, not a parry. And he goes down nice and easy. So no stress once we got to the wall. Moving on to Mysterio. We're just going to quake and shake this. Not going to worry about Buffet, not going to worry about dropping the heavy. Doom on a Buffet node converts that buff to shock, so it's just best to avoid a possible heavy stun attack. But Mysterio, you can quake and bake him here as well. He's immune to concussion, so there's never going to be the double concussion that causes you to constantly evade and ruins your quake and bake timing if you're not used to that. So you can quake and bake him. And he has a single hit heavy. So again, just re-heavy. But quake and shake, easy peasy. Moving on to our last quake fight. We're going to quake and bake this Manthing. He's at a 304k health. So even with class disadvantage, it takes quite a bit. Spacing, getting to the wall is not an issue here for me, so I just charge heavy and dash back, and we avoid triggering decks. Now that we're to the wall, just quake and bake. Block damage here isn't a big deal because I'm not using quake after this fight, so there's nothing that I have to recover from. And you can see we're about a minute in, and we're almost at the halfway point. About 4% off from it, so it's going to be about 2+ minute fight. Which is fine. I think I only missed one parry. I did get hit. I do remember that. But it's fine. There it was. This should be the last aftershock. Down he goes. Alright, now this boss fight. I think I've explained before, I love taking Killmonger with Modok. I've been doing it since Stubborn was the global, and I did it when I had an unduped Killmonger at rank 2. And here we are with a duped Killmonger at rank 3. not going in with this special 3-minute gray boost because I don't feel like I need it. Game plan here, build to 1 bar of power for both of us, bait out his SP1, immediately retaliate it to get that true strike, build to my SP1 and use it so that I can get those unstoppable charges for the free openings when he hits into my block and it triggers unstoppable and I intercept. When I don't have charges or he doesn't have a bar of power, we're blocking until he throws a heavy, which you saw there at the beginning. So now that we both have used SP1 and I have True Strike and Unstoppable, I'm no longer trying to bait out heavies. It's just take that block hit, immediately retaliate, do 4-hit combos and back off so that I can throw up my block instead of him deciding to just heavy me off his wall, which you will see him scoot forward at some point during this video. He gets a little cheeky right there, and I noticed it coming. He will hit you at that range, and you notice I triggered dexterity, so just be mindful of that. But we're right back into this game plan. Back when Stubborn was the global, this is probably all I would do. Heck, even into some Protect Wars, this is all I do. Just rinse and repeat this rotation and just wail on him. But I noticed I have the bleed charges. He's at pretty close to 50%. So I think I'm going to throw 1 more SP1. And then I decided to just build the SP3 and get those bleeds in. So we're continuing this. Push to SP1, bait SP1, retaliate SP1, back up. Okay, and we're going to SP3 here. So now we are going back to the baiting out the heavies for openings when he's not at a bar of power. And I'd rather not have my 5th hit of my combo push him to SP1 and me be really close to him. I'd rather do a 4-hit combo, back off, and then do another 4-hit combo and back off so that I can get myself prepared to dodge SP1 so that I constantly keep True Strike up so I don't have to worry about auto block. But we're at 31 bleed stacks, 32. Here's the SP3, bait out this last SP1 and throw it. So 26%. The SP3 is going to bring him down to 22%, and now the bleeds just tick. I'm at 3 for deep wounds. That's just my default, and down he went. So nice and easy. It was a really nice break from the Mojo bosses that I've been having. BG1 got their 5th donut of the season, so it was an awesome war for us, and we were 1 death short of a perfect war. So New Nation did what they needed to. We got our 1 win in the last 2 wars so that we can stay in Masters. And now with the way the rankings and the points work out, we won't fall out of Masters with a loss. However, we are not in range to make it in top 3 unless something happens at the end of the season like dockings or any free points from nodes left up, which is that last part is highly unlikely. Even the dockings, still pretty unlikely. So it's looking like we're just going to finish somewhere in Masters this season, which is pretty disappointing. But after losing to Kenobi and then following it up with 3 ties, which are 3 losses, it's pretty much expected. So 1 more war to go. Season's almost done. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe and follow me on Twitter so that you can keep your eyes out for the next one.